And joining us now to go over the EPA's effort is Michal Freedhoff, Assistant Administrator for EPA's Office of Chemical Safety and Pollution Prevention. I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for coming on NewsNation Prime tonight.
Thanks very much for inviting me.
And this is a milestone to get this ban passed. What is your response to vets like Peter Romano, who say, in essence, thank you, but why didn't this happen decades ago?
Well, first of all, I would just want to say to Mr. Romano, I'd like to thank him for his service. And as a person, as a mother, I also want to say that I'm truly sorry for everything that he went through and everything that the people that he described went through over the years. I think one of the reasons why it took the EPA this long, and I would agree it was too long, is because EPA didn't have a law in place that let us take strong action to regulate the way chemicals were made and used. And part of that's because in the late 1980s, when EPA banned asbestos, which is banned in dozens of other countries and kills thousands of people every year still, industry did sue the agency. They won, and they made the law so weak that it was powerless to protect the people that needed protecting the most. So we could clean up TCE when we found it in the drinking water. We could clean it up when we found it in contaminated Superfund sites. But what we couldn't do is take strong action to change the way it's made and used and ban it from being made and used ever again until Congress rewrote the law. And that only happened in 2016.
Yeah, so many years going by in the interim. And, NewsNation has spotlighted this EPA ban and also other toxic chemicals like PFAS or forever chemicals. And in fact, we recently aired a 2-year investigation revealing many American farmers have had their land destroyed by these forever chemicals. And there is concern about it in our food chain now in 97% of our blood already. If we know that there's a risk of even more farmland being contaminated, why doesn't the EPA start requiring that sludge is tested for forever chemicals?
Well, I think that's an excellent question that you're raising. It's a different part of EPA than the part that I work on, but I do agree with you that EPA should be using all the authority that it has to regulate chemicals before they end up in the water, in the land, and in people. It's our job to be protecting people and the environment. And in the last 4 years, EPA has done more to address chemical safety and the country's longstanding failure to take strong action than ever in history.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I want to ask something that that Marine veteran Peter Romano touched on. And so did Erin Brockovich, which is the power of lobbying and concerns over that. Let's listen together.
USDA and EPA. How in the hell did this get by you? It didn't. You knew something. For the sake of money, for lobbying power, you turned a blind eye.
Has lobbying power caused the EPA to turn a blind eye?
What I can say is that under the Biden administration, we've written the first ever drinking water standards for PFAS. We've made it so that polluters who are found to be responsible for PFAS contamination have to pay for their actions. We have asked and forced companies to provide the agency with data that was missing from the agency so that the agency knows more about what this universe of chemicals does to your body. We have made sure that when the companies that need PFAS to make everything from semiconductors to cell phones use it, they do so safely and keep people, their workers, as well as the environment safe.
And I don't mean to interrupt. I do think the drinking water standards, to your point, is an excellent first step and much needed. The EWG does believe that nearly 20 million cropland acres may already be contaminated. So when we know better, we do better. Why not stop the spread and the contamination of cropland now?
Again, that's a different part of the agency than the part that I work in. But I will go back to what I said initially, which is that we have done more in the last 4 years to address the decades of inaction on forever chemicals than any EPA has ever done before.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.